Hi guys, welcome back to another video. So today I've got 15 easy freestyle skills for you guys to try at home. Now freestyle isn't going to improve your performance on the pitch. You're not going to become a better player by doing freestyle skills, but it is a good way to warm up with the ball. It's enjoyable, it's nice to be creative and have a bit of fun with the ball from time to time. So let's get right into the first move. Number one is the foot store, the first move I ever learned, and it's the most important to learn in my opinion because it can actually be the foundation to a lot of other freestyle moves. So if you want to practice here around the world and you're not quite confident enough doing it while juggling, you can use the foot store to begin the move. So basically what we're doing is, as the ball is descending, we're dropping our leg to cushion the ball and we're pointing our toes upwards to wedge the ball between our foot and our lower leg. So as you can see here, as I point my toes up, it creates a nice little nest for the ball to land on, and then we can just flick it back up and continue to juggle. So I'd recommend learning the foot store before continuing on into any other freestyle moves. The second move is the around the world, one of the first freestyle moves I ever learned. And what we're doing is making contact with the ball, then moving our foot all the way around it 360 degrees, and then making contact with it in the same spot on the ball. So I would recommend starting this move by using a foot store just so you can get the technique down, learning how to move your foot around that ball. And then when you're comfortable, try juggling it but keeping the ball low, knee height or below. And then as you make contact with the ball, immediately move your foot around it. Don't wait to juggle it up and then move your foot around. Immediately make contact and get around that ball as quickly as possible. So you can either go inwards to outwards or outwards to inwards, whatever you're more confident with. Number three is hop the world. Very similar to around the world, but this time as one foot makes contact with the ball, the opposite foot then comes around to complete that around the world movement. So the key with this one is to leave the ground immediately as you make contact with the ball. So you need to make contact, then immediately hop off of the opposite leg to have enough time to get that foot around it. If you leave it too long, you just won't have enough time, you won't be able to complete the move. I would recommend starting this one from a foot store until you get the technique down, then as you grow in confidence, then try it from a juggling situation. Number four is the crossover. So we're just trying to cross our feet over while continuing to juggle the ball. So you need to hop off of both feet mid-flight, and one foot's going over the top of the ball, similar to an around the world, but the opposite foot underneath is the one that's making contact with the ball. So you're basically just juggling and hopping mid-flight. That underfoot is the one that's making contact with the ball, and the opposite foot just goes over the top of it, so your feet cross over. Number five is the half around the world crossover. So you would have need to have mastered the around the world and the crossover to be able to complete this move, but basically you're combining both. So as you can see, one foot starts to make the around the world movement, then as that foot is halfway around the ball, the opposite foot then hops off the ground to make contact with the underside of that ball, and then we're completing a regular crossover. So just adding a little bit of extra flair into the simple crossover. Number six is the toe bounce, and it's exactly how it sounds. We're trying to bounce the ball off of our toe to continue juggling. So as you can see, I'm planting one foot down, I'm raising my toe to provide a surface for the ball to bounce off of, and then as I raise that toe and the ball makes contact, my opposite foot then goes over the top of the ball and I continue the juggle after. So it's really important to flex those toes upwards, that gives it a nice surface, and you got to get it right underneath the ball as it's coming down. Then you just complete the crossover movement with the opposite leg and then continue the juggle. Number seven is the reverse toe bounce. So just another variation of the toe bounce that you can perform. So this time one foot's coming behind the opposite leg to catch the ball in the toe bounce. So again, we need to get that foot underneath the ball and then raise our toes to provide a surface for the ball to bounce off. And then the opposite foot then steps over it once again. Number 8 is the outside foot bounce, and even though it's such a simple move, I absolutely love the way this one looks. So what we're doing is juggling the ball a little bit higher this time to give the ball some momentum, and then we need to get the outside of our foot underneath the ball to provide the surface area for the ball to bounce off. So we kind of have to invert our knee a little bit. That's the only way we're going to be able to expose the outside of our foot. So not a movement you're going to perform regularly, a little bit awkward, but as you can see here, just kind of inverting my knee. That's just going to allow me to get the outside of the foot underneath the ball, and then the momentum of the ball dropping is what's going to allow it to bounce off, and then you can continue the juggle. Number 9 is the knee catch around the world. So there's two components to this move. The first being clamping it in between the knees. So you just need to juggle the ball up in the air, and it just takes a little bit of timing to work on catching it in between your thighs just by squeezing either side of the ball to wedge it there. And then the second phase of the movement is just crossing one knee over the other. Then the ball will automatically release, and it almost looks like a hop the world movement. Number 10 is the neck stall, and this is where you catch it on the back of your neck. A very simple technique once you learn how to do it. So you can practice to begin with by just placing it on the back of your neck with your hands, just so you learn how it feels to have it balanced on the back of your neck. And then when you're confident enough, try doing it while juggling. So what we're doing is keeping our eye on the ball at all times, and then as it starts to drop, at the very last second, we bend forwards and then cushion it with the back of our neck, but you really need to leave it till the last second to make sure it cushions and doesn't bounce away. Number 11 is the thigh catch. So we need to begin by juggling the ball probably around shoulder height, and then we need to flex our leg, which just means to bend it, and then we're trying to catch it in between our calf and our hamstring. So as you can see, as I bend my leg, it just provides a place for the ball to sit in. Then I need to clamp it in between basically my glute and the lower leg. And then as I release the ball, I flick it up with my heel to continue the juggle. Number 12 is the reverse thigh catch, so just another variation of the thigh catch. On the original thigh catch, we were catching the ball on the same side, so we needed to juggle it up, and then we were just flexing our leg. This time, one leg is going across the other, so we're catching it in between the lower leg of one leg and the upper thigh of the opposite leg. And then as we release the ball, we're just flexing our opposite leg so we can heel the ball up into the air and continue the juggle. Number 13 is the neck stall heel bounce. So we already worked on the neck stall, now we're adding an extra bit of flair to the move. So after we've caught it on the back of our neck, we're just going to stand upright, which allows the ball to drop down the center of our back, and then we need to raise our heel. So this just works on a little bit of timing here. You need to get it right so that your heel makes contact with the ball right as it drops off of your lower back. And if it makes contact at the right time, you're going to allow the ball to bounce back over your head, so then you can retrieve it on the opposite side. So you need to be able to do this without looking, so it's just working on timing, getting your foot in the right position, and then flicking it over your head. Number 14 is the toe bounce 360. So we already worked on the toe bounce earlier, so once you've mastered the toe bounce, you should be able to do this one with a little bit of practice. What we're doing here is, as we bounce the ball off of our toe, we're stepping over the ball 180 degrees, and as the ball bounces off of the toe, we then flick the ball with our heel and then complete the 360 degree turn to continue the juggle. Number 15 is the half around the world heel 360. So just combining a couple of moves we already worked on. So the first part of the move is going halfway around the ball. So as you can see, performing a half around the world movement. Then as my foot's halfway around the ball, I hop off of my opposite leg and land on the foot that was going around the ball. Then as I turn 180 degrees, I'm using my opposite foot to heel the ball into the air. Then as I make contact with that ball, I complete 360. So there we go, 15 easy freestyle skills for you guys to try at home. And I wouldn't recommend taking time away from your training to work on freestyle, but do it in addition. Use it as a way to warm up and just a fun, enjoyable way to get those extra touches on the football. You see footballers of all levels doing this before training, before their matches, just being creative with the ball and enjoying it. But if you did enjoy today's video and you want to see more freestyle moves, make sure you smash that like button. Also hit that subscribe button for weekly training videos, and I will see you guys in my next video.